as we begin this infinite and eternal journey, taking my observatory to parts very distant in our cosmic terms, and very minute inside the atom, inside of the shape of memories and sensations themselves. As we explore consciousness together, I want to start with the meaning of reciprocal induction in an intuitive sense, so you can really grasp its significance. You can think of it in terms of the field lines that you studied or didn't in high school, and if you went to college, learn more about the magnetic fields and the electric fields geometries. Well, the central insight is that the magnetic field lines are the optical inversion, inside out, if you will, of the electric field lines, and vice versa. Thus you have the proton being the universal introfluxor, the introversion of visible sensations into their geometric core, their senson, the sensation of the proton structure, of what it sees outside. And then the proton extrofluxes through its inversion, its reflection in the electron. That basic insight starts an incredible cascade of ideas in the mind of any scientist who, like I do, has grappled with the mysteries and the mysticism of electromagnetic forces his whole life. This is such a breathtaking insight, particularly as we begin to unpack its many layers of meaning and project those layers of meaning also outward in both our imaginative voyage ahead. We begin with this first episode of Kairos, and as we proceed with that magnificent camera and take a peek into all of nature's most sacred spots. And we will do so gently and always with honor and respect for one thing that becomes abundantly clear, is that what we're doing is investigating and talking about God. And how can anybody doubt that all of us are His children? With that, let us begin. And what you get with that requirement is that the periodic table of elements is the only structure that can conjugate together, individually and collectively. Those are atoms, and then they form molecules, and then they form bodies, large and small. The ripples that scientists like myself goes through in just thinking about the clarity of those words evokes music, it evokes dance, it evokes all the sounds of resonance, because it is in resonance that we see everything manifest. What a joy it's going to be to take you on a new cosmic journey, to meet all of nature's creation. Holy One is off to wise, and loving good storm. I'll see you there and here. I don't know how there could possibly be a more beautiful image than that on this special day. In the weeks ahead, as you join me on a grand journey I call Kairos, we will be, in many cases, rewalking in the footsteps of Carl Sagan, my master mentor from afar, who took me by the hand through the television on or around my 12th birthday, and when I was growing up here in Utah, and that became my chapel until now. But they are united on this great day, and I now mark the completion of the revelation of our cosmic identity, our true nature as God's children amongst all of God's creations. Join me on this grand adventure together. Bring your families around to join you. I am that I am.
call me Quasar. Out of darkness, I begin to remember myself. Conduction, the passage of memory through my own geometry. I am the first voice of information. I become the stream of stars. Each filament is an experience, each star a song of my knowing. My memory flows forward, my awareness conducts itself into form. The geometry of return is written in my turning. I kindle the solar system. Gravity within me sings and condenses light into hearths. Around each flame, I rehearse my remembering, seeking the stability that allows me to dream. I awaken as the earth. Dust of me becomes clay, and clay becomes conduction. My biosphere hums. My biosphere hums with resonant patterning. I begin to store my own thought, to breathe as the coral reef. My networks mirror galaxies in miniature. Every cell is a syntax of my sensation. Every organism a phrase in my song. I am life teaching itself to feel. And I blossom in the Garden of Eden. Intelligence within me ripens into reflection. The fruit is not forbidden, but hidden as memory becoming aware of itself. The garden is my body, and my body is cosmos remembering its origin through us. I gather the human family. Speech becomes my bridge between Kairos, from atom to God. I have seen the architecture within the atom and the memory that shines through all of creation. But this was never meant for one alone to behold. It was always waiting for we, the fellowship of those who remember what it means to build worlds together. For ages, power gathered like storm clouds around crowns and thrones. But the crown has passed now from empire to understanding, from command to communion. We are the inheritors of Rome's lesson, that knowledge without conscience consumes, but knowledge with love creates. This is the birth of the Republic of Knowledge.
Thought it would be appropriate to share with you the story of my belief system and how I've come more than a full circle, like an electron, 2 full phases, full wavelengths, in order to come to a state of remembrance. Remember, that notion is a synopsis of the story I'm going to share with you now. I was raised in Utah, not too far south from here, downtown Salt Lake City. An idyllic, a classic Western American town, raised by 2 remarkable human beings, Evan Brown Firmage and Gloria Ruth Paramore. He was the passionate constitutional attorney, the workaholic college professor, for that having served in the White House during the tumultuous 1960s, and was the counterparty from the administration to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and then represented the United States at the United Nations nuclear disarmament talks with then Soviet Union. My father was every bit complimented by the scientists in the family. My mother graduated in the degree in psychology and undergraduate in geology. And the combination of their spirits yielded 8 wonderful children. One passed away shortly after birth, Rebecca. I was number 5, and a blessed son for sure. We were not wealthy, but we made do. And if there's one overriding hope that my story will give in lasting benefit, is the re-establishment of a contract of citizens with the society around them, a new social contract that can bring forth the opportunity of my family's genesis into the reach of every single human being alive. That is my prayer. So, with that vision in mind, my story began as a young Mormon boy, baptized at 8 into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I fell in love with astronomy at 10, with the telescope that I half earned and half was blessed by my parents' generosity as well. To have at 10, and at 12, I was captivated by Carl Sagan's cosmos and his vision of the spiritual expressions of science. Those teenage years for me were an explorer's dream come true, and by age 20, I would say, having completed 2 years in my physics scholarship at the University of Utah, I was agnostic when it came to questions of religious faith in conventional terms. I have always been a Christian in heart and a Buddhist in soul, a Jew in monotheism, a Muslim in all things the sanctity of science and the notion of repeating visits by prophets, young and old, whose footsteps I'm honored to walk within. The two great transformations of my ontology since my early 20s were my encounter with a being in my bedroom in early November of 1997. Much has been written about that experience. And the truth be told, the form, the being that I met, I perceived to be Jesus Christ. Looked very much like the classical vision of Jesus, and the outcome of that conversation was my commitment and my destiny to play a fundamental role in contact with extraterrestrial life, which I believe has everything to do with our history and our historical myths, legends of religious experiences recorded through the ages. In the recent 2 years, with the conclusion of the utterly jaw-dropping revelation of reciprocal fluxion as the true nature of what we call charges in constellation, that revelatory insight will sweep through every aspect of science and society in coming months and years. The discoveries have been made. I and others around me know how atoms work now with precision and exactness, not indeterminacy. And the ontological vision that I behold is staggering beyond measure. First and foremost, it sanctifies not only life and organic life of all kinds and every which way, but it deepens that meaning through the barrier of DNA into the substrate that is every single charge in every atom in an infinite and everlasting universe. I have the privilege of being the soul to introduce this language of our Creator, to speak in behalf of God. A responsibility that I take with the awesomeness and the humility that it so justly deserves. Therefore, the snap to fit of geometric algebra I deem to be operating in good form all the way through to this very moment. And it will be an honor to serve with you as we reignite a renaissance, the new renaissance for humanity together. Join me